Greetings to you wherever you are. My name is Kulpreet Yadav. I'm one of the co-founders and director of WLA, that is World Law Alliance. We have a very interesting webinar today, and we've got three expert speakers from Finland. They bring diverse experience, and I'm sure it's going to be a very useful session for all of you listening in. The topic for today's webinar is digital contracting and negotiations, how AI is changing this side of law. So AI, as everyone knows, is artificial intelligence. Briefly, before I introduce the panelists for today, I'm going to be taking about 30 seconds to introduce World Law Alliance, what we are and what we do. So World Law Alliance is a modern day integrated international practice of law and global service delivery platform. Through the collaborative innovation of our members around the world in 80 plus global locations, we deliver exceptional service, tailored advice, and practical, efficient solutions for most complex transactions, disputes, and legal issues. With that, I will be introducing the three panelists for today, and one of them will, of course, be taking the session forward as a moderator. So I start with moderator, and that is Seppo Parviainen. He's the managing director at Agents, a legal tech company transforming the legal industry. Mr. Seppo is a member of the World Law Alliance, business lawyer, and served on the board and leadership positions of several organizations like Directors Institute of Finland, VIA Group, Euro Tomistukut Chain, Nordic Office Limited, CONPAP, SPAR Finland, Finnish Commerce Federation, member of Law Committee. Mr. Seppo, can I request you to please raise your hand so that all of us know who you are? Yes, yes. All right, so we have next is Mr. Jussi Kartila. He's the CEO and co-founder of Jefford. Mr. Jussi is experienced executive with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and services industry. He has served on the board and leadership positions of companies like Pop, Pankey, Mostec, Iato, Digitace, Kubrick, Oilneo, etc. Mr. Jussi, can you raise your hand? Yes.
Pleased to be here. Thank you.
Yes, greetings to you as well. Then we have Linda Scotchberg. Linda is the CEO at Essently, trusted e-signatures and e-identification company. Linda is an experienced business developer with a demonstrated history of working in SaaS, retail and banking services, strong sales, marketing and communication professionals at both big international companies as well as startups. She has served in leadership roles in companies including Wetham. Linda, finally, if you can kindly raise your hand.
Hi.
Yes, I mean, not that there's any doubt, but since I started with the first two, so just continuing with that. So, all right, so ladies and gentlemen, please buckle your belts, and this is going to be a very interesting futuristic session. So with that, I hand over to Mr. Seppo to take the webinar forward. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kulpreet, and especially VLA that we had this possibility to join this seminar. And as a background, I will be the moderator, but also panelist. And as Kulpreet said, I have been in many businesses, and as I see myself as half a business lawyer and half commercial director, so actually there's not so many lawyers in this presentation, and that can be also good. If I look about the topics, there is the reason that it will be shared in three parts. I will be first talking about pre-sign process. Pre-sign is having inside systems like templates, using the templates, editing the templates, and also making the negotiations. And then we have Linda from Essently, who will talk about e-signing process. E-signing is growing, and in Finland it's about 40% of the companies already using e-sign, and also against pre-sign process is integrated to e-sign process. And then Jussi will be the last one. He is specialist in post-sign process and RE, and that will be very interesting part also if we talk about RE. Finally, we will have, of course, summary and conclusions. It is also possibility to ask questions from us, but after the presentation, you will get contact information about all the panelists. And I have also asked VLA that we could send video links and presentation material through VLA to participants. So we don't use this time just showing a lot of pictures and presentations and videos. This is more like that you can go inside the topic, understand each different parts, the basic issues, and also how these are connected together. Because as I see digital contracting, it is part that you have pre-sign, e-sign, and post-sign together. And this way you will have totally digitalized negotiation process. I would like first to talk about something basic issues about our against own pre-sign process tool. It is called RE Lawyer. And in RE Lawyer, I will go through some details, and after that we have some questions from Jussi, and I have also some own views how the future will bring RE more inside the process. Against is not just legal tech company. We are doing legal practice. Actually, 60% from our turnover is coming legal practice, and 40% of selling SaaS software to our platform. We are using our pre-sign tool more like our lawyer's inner tool, that all our lawyers can use this 350 templates we have inside there as a starting phase, and then go to this editing negotiation phase. But the other thing is that we are also selling licenses to our business-to-business customers. And our business-to-business customers has totally the same RE Lawyer tool that we have. This means that they have totally same content, same templates. Templates are ready-made for 90%. So 10% is more like editing and negotiations and between parties issues. And inside the template part, that is other part, we have so far the templates part, and then we have this digital meeting rooms. This template part is more like that we have 350 templates there. Half of them are in English language, half of them are local language, that means Finnish language. And the basic thing is that we are using RE in solutions, how you can find out the templates. So there is 3 different models for templates. You can either write the name of the template and it will show you the right template, or then we have 45 so-called product categories. For instance, meetings can be one product category, and if you choose meetings, it will show all the documents we have under the meetings system. And then, of course, we have alphabetical search engine that you are just looking agreements starting from R, B, C, or whatever. And when you choose the template, there is normally, you can preview, and if you are happy, you can save, and you can edit in somewhere else than in our digital room, because many of our smaller customers want to use just the template and edit it in somewhere else. For my point of view, the more interesting part is the second part, that is this digital meeting room. And what digital meeting room means, it is a GDPR safe, data protected digital place where you can, for instance, create a meeting room for certain meeting, and you can invite all the participants there inside the room, and there you can bring your own documents. I know that most of the lawyers, they love their own made documents, and even we have 350 lawyer made documents. Many of them want to use their own documents. Other one is that you can also take those ones you need from our 350 documents inside the meeting room. You can have in one meeting 1 or 10 or 100 documents if you want to have, and you can invite there 1, 5 or 10 participants. You can also create different kind of roles for participants. There can be those ones who can edit and change the text during the editing, or you can have just commentators who just give comments but cannot make changes. And this is normally so that you will start from one document and then you go to the next part of this editing room, where we have very nice tools that can be used when you make the editing process. That means that you put those kind of information that parties will have there in specific case. And then you have possibility to have different kind of tools showing that everybody has accepted this change. And you can see also that who has made the changes and when, and is it accepted or not. And when you will have this ready and everything has accepted, you can save also the discussion history, because all the comments are saved there in discussion history. So you can save the discussion history as a PDF document. And if you see then that everybody has accepted this, you go to next phase, and that is this integrated e-sign process. And in our system, e-signs means that first you make the decision that who will sign the document. That can be those ones that are inside the process, or you can invite also someone who has not been inside the process to sign it. And in signing process, you normally first choose the document that can be signed, then those ones who will sign it. Then you can choose the language. For instance, we have Finland, Swedish and English as signing language. And then the next phase will be those that are you using what kind of electronic signature. Linda will tell more about that, what are the possibilities. In our system, we have so-called strong banking identification signature, and then a so-called standard signature that is more like that you will get invitation to sign to your email, and you will get different code for that. You put the code and then go inside the link, and then you can go there and you can draw your signature and confirm it. But Linda will talk more about this. And then when it's signed and everything is ready, you can just take the documents somewhere where you are saving them, and then you can just destroy the meeting room. It is like a normal meeting that you have meeting room, and when meetings are done, then you can just go away and leave the meeting room. Jussi will tell more about where you save and how you save these documents. Just now, in our platform, we are using Microsoft SharePoint, but in the future, it can be easily saved to, for instance, Jefford AI-based digital storing place. And I know also that both Assembly and Jefford has made cooperation so that there will be integrated solution from Assembly electronic signature to Jefford data storing. But they will tell more about that. Shortly about what we are doing this business is that we have online version that we are mostly offering to business customers that is using our AI lawyer logo and basic solution. Then we have a possibility, and reason is that our biggest owner is one of the leading Finnish legal tech IT companies. That we can also make so-called suite version. We could, for instance, make for World Law Alliance own digital platform that they could have own product management, product category management, own colors, own user management, own electronic signature, and they could also have their own documents there. So everything is possible. This is normally made for big companies or then also for lawyers who want to have own document management. But I think this was enough. I don't want to give more information. This is enough you can handle. And as I said that after the meeting, the video links will be shared. But Jussi had some question about this. You have prepared something nice questions for me.
Yes, hard ones. Seppo, thank you for the presentation. As we talk about pre-sign, that actually is a very wide topic. There is a lot of things that can be put under this umbrella of pre-sign. What do you see as most important processes or steps in pre-sign process that should be supported by an IT solution?
I see two basic issues that will come through in the near future. Other one is that there will be more AI-based possibilities when user will take their own document inside this digital editing and meeting room. That can be, for instance, that we can take, customer can take their own document that they have made a year or 2 years ago from, for instance, digital storing place and put it already inside this pre-sign process and start to editing. Surely that will happen. Other one is, and what our main owner has already taken is this so-called AI robot. An AI robot is called Citrus robot from our main owners, and you can teach all the routines to this AI robot. And normally it can be used when you create new agreements or review documents or streamline different kind of processes. You can, for instance, most of the lawyers know Luminance solution. AI robot is nearly the same, that you can take, put the data inside different place and look, for instance, what kind of CDPR issues are inside the documents, or look the documents that are signed by certain person, or look the documents that are made with the Russian partner, or whatever what you want to check. So these are, I think, the basic issues that will come, and this AI robot is more like a project tool that is used in due diligence process. And these ones that I first say that you can take the customers earlier made documents from saving place and put them inside the editing mode, that will be more like helping also this pre-sign process. But if I look how much the people following this presentation can handle the data, I think now it's time for me to give this to Linda, and please, Linda, you could tell something about this e-sign process, and then we can ask some difficult questions from you after that.
Thank you for that. And let me first tell you a little bit about Ascently and the market we are living in right now here in the Nordics. So I'm based in Finland, although Ascently was founded 10 years ago in Sweden, and was from the start also active in Finland, but it was not until the corona started that the demand for our services grew so quickly that Ascently decided to start a subsidiary in Finland, which I have co-founded and been running from the start. So last summer, when the pandemic situation got a little bit better, we thought that the demand would start to decrease, but actually it did not. The inbound leads increased even more because nobody wants to print and scan documents anymore. So I guess it was something you could live without before, but now it's more becoming a standard way to automate business processes here in the Nordics at least. But here today, e-signing in this context means that the e-signing tool is integrated using API to the agent's platform versus the use of e-signing through Ascently's standalone version where you log into the service and you conduct the signing process in the service. But it doesn't matter whether you're using our standalone service or the agent's platform, you go through the whole pre-signing process. Then you choose which documents to sign, then you upload them to the service or platform, then fill in the signee information. That is at least the name, usually also company information and email address. And then you send the document for signing. And once all signees have signed the document, it's stored where you have chosen to store it when doing the integration of the APIs. And it can be, for example, SharePoint or Jefford. And the key benefits are, first, that it's time-saving and convenient. You don't have to print and scan any documents, or worse, send them by post. And second, since it's time-saving, it indirectly means that you save money. And third, since you send the document by email and or text message, and the person identifies or signs with phone number or EID, it's easier to track the person who has signed than a regular handwritten signature. And fourth and last, the documents are automatically saved in the place of your choosing and are reachable by the persons you have appointed, which also helps governance-wise because it's easy to find them. They're not stored on the employer's personal computers, and you have a process for this in place. So that was about it, was what I was going to tell you here and now, because I tried to paint a picture. It's easier to demonstrate our program when I share my screen, but in short, that is how it works.
Yeah. And as I take the lawyer's point of view, this and as I said, we have already integrated e-sign solution. I would like to ask you how separate type of signatures could be used in our platform. I mean, when we make business with customers who have business in Europe, or they can have business all over world, what kind of possibilities we have to have extra electronic signatures?
Yes, if I understand correctly, we have 4 different types of signatures in our service. We have the EID, that is when you sign with bank codes, for example, and it's called also an advanced electronic signature. Then we have the text message signature. We have touch screen, that is when you use your finger. And then we have what we call quick intent, that is when you just choose the I agree button. And for international use, we recommend using text message signature, plus the use of what we call access control, which means that the signee is sent an email with a request to sign. And when opening, there is a request to enter a verification code that is sent by text message to the person. And only after entering that code, the document is opened. And after that, you can also sign by text message. Then you can be quite sure that the document has reached the right person. So in the Nordics, you can, of course, choose also to use EID because it's so regular here. So there are some markets where EIDs are very in common use, much more than in others where it's very fragmented. That's why we recommend the use of text message globally.
Yeah, and if I look my background, I have been in the business quite long. I think the biggest saving for electronic signature is saving the time and giving flexibility that everybody can sign it. Because, for instance, my agreements when I sign them with the customers will take 40 seconds or something like that. But in old bad times I used to drive with my car to meet the customer, and then we drink coffee and ate something, and then we signed the agreement, and then I drive back. And it really could take more than 1 hour to have this signature. So I'm losing the coffee now, but anyway, it's only 40 seconds. So I see this is very effective way and very important. And I think nobody is willing to come away from electronic signature after have studied it.
And also, I mean, you don't have to sign so many papers. We have customers who have been in real estate and might sign 160 of the same paper, and now they can just batch sign all at once.
Yeah, and good thing also for lawyers' point is that it is giving the stamp to every page. Because in old time it was so that you was signing the last page, and then those ones who was very careful, he was signing also the other pages from the start to end. But now it's automatically giving the stamp for all the pages.
And I would actually also like to emphasize the environmental thing about this. What I hated before e-signatures was to print out the document, then sign it with the hand, and after that scan it and then get rid of the printed version. So that definitely is also saving.
Yes, there's a huge sustainable saving in that, of course. But almost we are in this market where Nordics, where it's such a mature e-signature market. So for us, the sustainability aspect is such a given. So we don't even remember to talk about it so much ourselves.
I would ask Linda you question coming from some of the listening to our presentation. Is this question that there are also markets and countries that don't confirm or recognize e-signatures, and I would like to ask from your side what would be the advice for that situation? As a lawyer, I can also say that it is between the parties that what kind of signature is used, but you have probably the better advice.
Yeah. Well, yes. Unfortunately, I'm not a lawyer, so I will not have the lawyer's answer to that. But because it's we mainly act in Europe and in the USA, and we are regulated in Europe by the eIDAS regulation, and in the USA by the eSign Act, which both state that our e-signatures are binding. But of course, different countries have different regulations. So just as when stepping into an agreement with a handshake or handwritten agreement, you have to comply with local regulations.
Yeah, and if I see the old way that it was sent by email and then what it was printed out and then signed, scanned and sent back. So electronic signature is always as a minimum same level. But it's up to partners to decide is it what way to sign it, but I don't see very big risk, but you need to agree between the partners and know also the local regulations for that. And as you said about this, that in Europe we have our own directive, and also in United States e-sign Act. These are helping in these markets.
Yes. Fortunately, but we hope that the situation will be the same all over, of course, at some point. But we are in the forefront here, so.
And I know that after this panel, when we will send these videos and more presentation material, you have quite a good presentation about Ascently, and also in our video it showed this, that how you can pick the document and then start to make the electronic signature. So that will give quite a good picture how it's made. And as I say, I don't have any kind of bad experience from electronic signature. Nowadays, some days I make even 10 signatures per day, and it will take 10 minutes. So that's great.
We have had no judicial cases in 10 years, so. Any other questions, or should we go on with Jussi and Jefford?
Yeah, we could go to Jussi, and then in the end we can also have some questions more about this. And I'm all the time also telling that after the panel we will share the information about participants and internet pages and also other material. So this is more like opening basic issues, and those ones who are interested to have more information about separate solutions are welcome to contact us. But maybe Jussi could share now the real RE view about this.
Yes, thank you, Seppo. Very pleased to be joining this webinar and having the possibility to share some insights to Jefford. So my name is Jussi Karttila. I'm CEO and one of the co-founders of Jefford. And in this short presentation, my plan is to do more or less the same Linda just did. So give you an appetizer so that you get interested about our product. And then, as Seppo has been telling you, you will receive a link to a real demonstration where you see the product itself and see how it works in practice. But now I do my best to serve you this appetizer. So first, a short background of Jefford. Actually, Jefford was founded some 5 years ago. As said, there are 3 co-founders behind this company, and we all 3 were interested about artificial intelligence. So we decided to start up an AI company, and that was the first decision. And after that decision, we started to wonder what to do with artificial intelligence. We didn't want to go to consultancy business. We wanted to develop a product or service that utilizes AI. All us 3 are quite seasoned. We have been working in different companies, and all us shared the same experience from the past, that almost all organizations struggle somehow with the contract management. So we made the decision to go into this contract management market, but with a little bit different angle than what traditional product or service providers had done previously. We formed a vision to create what we call a zero effort contract management solution. And this zero effort actually comes from utilizing AI in this process. And as you might have already figured out, the name Jefford actually comes from this word zero effort. So as easy as possible to use solution. So we made the decision to go into the contract management business and started to build a contract lifecycle management tool. In the very beginning, we were aiming to do a solution that would cover all 3 phases of contract lifecycle management. So pre-signing, signing, and post-signing. But we realized fairly soon that if we do a product that covers the full process, we will end up being a bad compromise in each of these segments. So we, instead of doing the full contract life cycle, we decided to concentrate on post-signing and wanted to become the best post-signing solution that there is on the market, and then provide very powerful APIs and other integration possibilities to actually for our customers to be able to cover the full contract lifecycle process. So that's how the company got started. When we went or started to think more about this post-signing process, we actually realized that there are 4 main challenges that we need to tackle. One of the biggest challenges with traditional products or services is that you actually have all the features needed for your contract management, but only thing lacking is the contracts themselves, because it's so big tasks to enter the contract information into the system that some of your users simply kind of forget to do it or don't enter the contract data into the solution. And then you can't rely that you have all your contracts in solution. So we wanted to make the contract entry as easy as possible. And in Jefford, actually, you simply can, for example, forward an email containing a contract in a specific email address. Then the contract will be automatically uploaded into the system. The AI will actually extract all the metadata from that contract, and you don't need to do anything. It's just simply you forward an email, and that's it. The second challenge that we found was that when you have all your contracts in the system, you need to find those, and sometimes you actually need to find a contract based on other things than the metadata you have extracted from your contracts. So we've created a Google kind of search functionality in Jefford. So you really, we index the full text content of the contracts, including all the text, also from scanned documents. So we do a powerful OCR in the process, and you really can Google your contract base and find what you are looking for. Then the third challenge was what to do with all other contract-related material other than the contract document itself. It's very common to have other material as well, for example, emails related to your contracts. It might be that you terminate a contract with an email, and then a year after you need to prove that you have terminated this contract, and the email might be in someone's inbox and that someone already has left the company. So it's very hard to find those emails. So with Jefford, it's very easy also to gather all other contract related documents material together in the very same location where your contract is. And the fourth challenge we wanted to tackle is that contracts are seen as a passive document. If you use a shared folder, for example, to store your contract, it is a passive location, and the contracts are just documents lying there on your hard disk, and any solution or no solution is looking after your contract base. With Jefford, you can have unlimited number of activities related to your contracts, and Jefford will then remind you of, for example, of renewal dates or contract being expired or a date you should actually use to get an option related to your contract. So these kind of challenges we are tackling with Jefford, and we have 2 main priorities in our development. The number 1 priority for us is UX, usability. So we want to make the solution as easy as possible to use, as we promise in this zero effort vision we have. And the other main priority for us is information security. We understood from very beginning that if we deal with contracts, the information security must be at least bank level security. So we have definitely made the solution also secure, and we have several banks, for example, using it. So this is a very brief intro appetizer for Jefford. I hope you got interested, and afterwards you will get a short demo video of Jefford, and you will see the actual product in action. Thank you. Now I'm happy to answer questions.
Yeah, we have tough ones for you. First one is that can you tell what's the main difference based on metadata-based search of contracts compared to these traditional folders that are inside Microsoft systems?
Yes, if you have just folders, then that's the only way you can use to find the contract. So probably you have like hundreds of folders, because you have to have very deep folder structure to have first the business unit, then perhaps the function, then perhaps the contract party name, then the contract time, and then the specific contract. And in that folder you would have the folder. When you have then the next level is that you have metadata for your contracts, and you can use that for search. And then the third level, which actually Jefford supports, is that you have the metadata, which you can use for search, but then together with that, you have the full text index of your contract. So you can, for example, first make a search based on metadata, and then to that subset of contracts you have found with your metadata, then do a free text search and search for anything in that contract's content.
Yeah, I think you could say it quite clearly and understandable way. Linda, did you have some question to Jussi?
Yeah. First, I want to say, because we also use Jefford, of course, it really is really good, and it's so easy to use. And since you can also do without any integration, just from our standalone system, you can send to a third party, or how many third parties you want, the signed documents, and then you can just retract the folder address from Jefford and put it there. And if you have ready-made templates, then they always get stored. The same kind of templates get stored in the right folder automatically. So it's very, very easy to use. But what I'm interested in is, of course, the e-signatures. And do you know how big part of your customer base have gone over from handwritten signatures to using e-signatures? And is there a difference between local and global companies?
We have some view on that, not specific view, and the challenge with getting a specific view is that actually our customers use Jefford to store all kind of administrative documents, so it doesn't need to be a contract, and it's for us very hard to actually make distinction if it's a contract or some sort of other administrative document without any signature. But our hunch is that actually e-signature is really growing. Of course, at the moment, majority of our customers come from Nordic countries, and e-signature is booming in Nordics. A lot of that is due to Corona situation, COVID situation, that has actually driven that growth. But what we definitely can see that actually global companies are not using e-signature that much than the local ones. It's probably related to this legislation issues and different practices in different geolocations related to e-signature. So they are more in the traditional old school way of signing documents than the local companies.
Okay, let's hope that changes, because that is actually where you would get most benefits, where you have to post. Definitely,
I fully agree.
Do you usually have some view about the possible next steps that the AI-based electronic document archiving will be the next steps?
Yes, there's definitely. Also, we at Jefford are looking forward, and we are constantly developing the tool, and there are a lot of interesting AI-related topics also on our roadmap. But some examples that I see that will come to benefit our users in future are, for example, AI proposed user rights. So of course you want to, when you store all your contractual material in one single location, every user cannot see all the content. So you have to have specific user rights in the solution. That is fully supported by Jefford already today. But what we are bringing there is also some artificial intelligence. So once you upload a contract, the AI actually will propose that based on the content of this contract, it should be actually only seen by these user groups or users. So AI will also help with that and make sure that the contract user rights are correct. Then we will provide different kind of insights to the contract. For example, you might get into a situation where you need to figure out what part of your contract base is actually assignable. If, for example, you are in the middle of some transaction, you need to get idea of that. So AI can help with that. So you just ask AI to tell which contracts can be assigned and which not. Same applies to GDPR, for example. GDPR is a big topic in Europe. So we could or can already utilize AI to actually scan through documents, and then AI will tell whether this document is GDPR compliant or not. Then in future, there also will come possibility for our users to teach AI to do specific things. For example, to search for a specific custom metadata from the contracts. So it doesn't need to be Jefford that only develops the AI further. We will also make it possible for our users to actually teach AI to do things that they want AI to do with their contract base. So these three things at least, but a lot of other opportunities as well.
Yeah, and as I see, I have been in some due diligence processes, and if the customers would have had Jefford system, it has been much easier to look to possible risks and other things that lawyers are normally looking in due diligence process, and that will save a lot of time and money in the future. I'm sure about that. As I see now that we could make or start to make some kind of conclusion and a final summary. What I know in the history is that business managers and businesses are taking these new technologies to use, and this means that also the lawyers must join to this development, because it's the only way that you can learn to use them, and also the technology and the demand of the customers are growing all the time. And if lawyers are not starting to take these kind of solutions, they are in problems, because business to business customers will anyway take them in use. And I think the best way is that start to make the decision that what part of the solutions you will start to use, and then you start to use and you learn and come better and better in this issue. And this way you are inside the development process. So as I understand now, the electronic signature, it's not difficult, it's easy, and we are just looking possibilities to use Jefford maybe in this year later and change our folder-based Microsoft folders to other kind of systems. So it's more like attitude and courage, and that the lawyers are also ready to make the next step. And I have wondered many times in Finland why some of the lawyers are not interested about this legal tech. That is it based on that this has been so good business, this law practice, that you have invoiced so high prices that even you are not effective, you can make money. But I think now it will start to be the last times to step inside this process. And as I see also in Finland, that law companies are now joining and starting to take these kind of solutions. And I think e-sign is already very widely used also in law companies, and these other things are coming after that. Is it so, Linda, that also the law companies, do you have some kind of information that law companies are also using e-sign?
Yes, they are also using e-sign here in our market.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's more like this international question, but I don't see it difficult, because possibility that not to use e-sign is this traditional send it by email and someone is printing and signing and scanning and sending back. So it's not so good possibility.
There are a couple of cases where it's not legally possible in Finland. For example, a will. You cannot sign a will with e-sign. So that is not done by the law firms then also.
There are a few, yes, I know there is also when you buy your real estate, there is in the legislation some issues that you need to have 2 witnesses there, and the witnesses must see that the signer is in a full condition and understand what he's signing.
But it's very special cases in real estate, because real estate is possible to do also.
Yeah, it is now, we have now solution, but basically there is a discussion already in this will issue that is it so that if the witnesses some other way can check that this is in full mental power, and then everybody is signing it electronic, but it will just matter of time.
Yes,
it will happen.
I think so too. There were some other legislative aspects that were during Corona. They did open up, for example, for different organizations to sign with e-sign and so on, that haven't been able before, because all of the members have to be present, but it's not so anymore.
Also, this data protection issue is quite strong, and also in Europe we have GDPR and different kind of data protection laws all over the world. So I think when Jefford has already banks as a customer, it has been checked many times that your solutions are protective. Even Assently can use them.
Actually, we are.
Yes.
Yeah, no, but we also have banks, and we have from the health sector also companies as customers, have had for many years. So we have ISO certification, and also the Finnish Trust Network certification is about to come, really maybe even in a few weeks. So only banks and some other teleoperators and Signicat has that. So there are under 15 who have that certificate. Yeah. So it has been a year's work, but we can show that we are as safe as a bank.
Yeah, and as I see, I think that this coronavirus issue, even it has been very bad for the health, is helping to take these electronic processes in use. Because if you are willing to do it, you can have all the steps digitalized, you can have all the steps done digitally way, and we don't know what will happen after Corona, but I think that those ones that has taken in use during Corona, these solutions will not come back. You can do business very effective way, and then you can meet your customer in golf club and play little golf separately from business. Before we end this, as I said earlier already, that the meaning from this panel was not have a so-called sales presentation. It was more like discuss and open and give some views. And after this, the video links or presentation material will be shared, and also shared the information about panelist email addresses and internet pages. And we are very pleased if you are contacting us, and we can give you full support and full information about all these solutions. If somebody wants to ask questions, there is 5 minutes time for that. Normally it is also so that, as my experience, people many times have some own views, and they want to ask these own issues directly with, for instance, Linda or Jussi or me. And for that reason, we think that it's the best way that share the material, everybody can look the videos and make own decisions and then be in contact, and normally it's working better.
All right, I think we are more or less at the end of today's talk. Yes, Mr. Seppo.
Yeah, and anyway, I want to thank both panelists Linda and Jussi that you took your time and participate this, and special thanks for Kulpret and Gayatri and also VLA to have this possibility. This was very nice, and this is a good concept. I have been also participating in some of the seminars in VLA earlier, and it's nice way to have more information about interesting issues.
Thank you also from my behalf.
Yeah.
Sorry. And thank you, Seppo, for inviting us in this panel.
Thank you so
It's
much.
been a pleasure.
Yeah. If we close this panel, and then you will get the material, and also, as I understand, the recording from this panel will be shared. So that is guarantee that you will get all the information you want to have. And I hope everybody has a nice rest of the day or night, whatever. In Finland is 8 o'clock in the evening. I don't know what is in India, and probably there will be participants from different time zones.
Yeah, okay. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Seppo, for this very exciting talk that you led today. And thank you, Linda, and thank you, Jussi, for this fabulous insight. I can just briefly tell you that in India, though the law supports digital signatures for contracts and negotiations, but in, I think, 90% of the cases, there is a mental block among people because somehow, since this is a new process, so it is going to take a little time. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for companies like yours. And I wish you all the best. Thanks for your time. Thanks for participating. For your information, it's 11:30 in the night at New Delhi, from where I'm speaking. So it was really wonderful to be in this engaging talk. We will, of course, be uploading your videos and whatever information that you share with us so that people who are interested can reach to you. And with that, from World Law Alliance, I say goodbye to all three of you with gratitude and thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.